Tonight, murder mystery, a hiker stumbles upon human remains in isolated bushland on the Fleurieu. Also, from dawn till dusk.
We will remember them, lest we forget.
South Australians honour the Anzacs. The emotional return of a World War II air hero's long-lost medals to his Adelaide family. Grave fears held for a fisherman missing north of the city. The search called off for the night. And Crows captain Jordan Dawson joins his teammates flying out to face the Lions in Brisbane.
Live from Adelaide, this is 7 News with Mike Smithson.
Good evening. The grim discovery of a decomposed body on the Fleurieu Peninsula has been declared a major crime. Detectives are now examining a possible link to a series of suspected drug-related murders in the southern suburbs.
A gruesome discovery at an Inman Valley Conservation Park.
At about 5:40 p.m. yesterday, a bushwalker contacted police after discovering what they believed were human remains.
Within hours, forensic specialists swarmed the scene, confirming they were human.
The remains are very decomposed and that they have likely been in this location for several years.
They were found down a small ravine just metres from this isolated track. Today, major crime detectives returned, combing through the dense vegetation for clues.
I'm very confident that this person was murdered, and as a result of that, the investigation will be declared a major crime.
The person's identity is yet to be confirmed.
There's a number of ways that we can identify people, so I'm expecting that will hopefully take within a few days.
Police say they're investigating whether the death may be linked to Task Force Southern, a 2021 probe into 3 suspected drug-related murders in Adelaide South.
Just because of the geography, it's one of the considerations which we will be looking at, yes.
One of those is Father Jeff Mundy. Missing since 2020, police believe he was murdered and his body disposed of on the Fleurieu Peninsula, leading to a number of major searches, including of the Maiponga Reservoir in 2023.
Any long-term missing person will be assessed against what we found today, and we've got our missing person investigation section, which is also within major crime. We're working on it as we speak.
Jonathan Edwards, 7 News.
South Australians have turned out in near record numbers to honour those who have served our country. The warm early morning conditions made for a perfect backdrop to Anzac Day services along our beaches.
A solemn morning, remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Hundreds from the local community lined the shores of Hallett Cove with conditions nothing short of perfect.
Absolutely beautiful. Being over the sea here just sort of brings back more memories.
Many honouring family members who gave their lives in service.
Wear them quite proudly.
While a new generation continues the tradition.
You get the chance to put a wreath up.
From the sea to the CBD, thousands more attended the dawn service at the National War Memorial on North Terrace. Including World War II veteran Henry Young, the last surviving member of his squadron, now 102 years old and still as sharp as ever.
Anzac Day is a special day, and I'd like to think I've got one more left in me.
His proud family joining him year after year, a legacy they hope will live on for generations.
No one has missed an Anzac Day, and I hope that's a tradition they'll continue.
There was an act many believe broke the Anzac spirit. Boos from a select few aimed at the welcome to country.
The RSL acknowledges that the memorial is built on traditional lands of the Kaurna people.
That's not what Anzac Day is about. It's not a form for protest, it's about commemoration.
But for most, no hate was harboured, with just as many staying on for the traditional Anzac Day march, veterans and their loved ones flying the flag.
I've been brought up in this country and I absolutely love it.
Wherever South Australians chose to spend their day, the sense of community shone through.
And of course, it wouldn't be Anzac Day without a friendly game of two-up, the only day of the year where the game of chance is legal.
Not that they're competitive.
Yeah, if we win that, we've got more alcohol for another hour.
Safe to say there'll be a few sore heads.
Yeah!
And empty pockets tomorrow. Madison Stanley, 7 News.
And of course, the traditional Anzac Day street party is underway in the city. Gertie Spurling's there. She's a party animal. Gert, the Union Hotel's throwing its annual bash to honour the brave and fallen.
It is, Smitho. Commemorations here on Weymouth Street began at 10 a.m. this morning. Hundreds gathering to pay tribute to those who have served our country. And the street party is expected to continue for a few hours yet. Throughout the day, there's been live music, dancing, two-up, plus the Legacy South Australia and Broken Hill fundraising barbecue, which helps support veterans' families. The free event has become a tradition for many.
It's lovely to see everyone get out and dance and just the spirit. I think we should support our service people.
It's a great sort of time to actually reflect and commemorate those that have served, those that have sacrificed.
Commemorations here will wrap up at 10 p.m. tonight, with Weymouth Street reopening to traffic shortly after. There is a chance of showers developing within the next few hours too, and I know that it is quite rowdy, but we can blame Seven's own Graham Corns for that. He's on the stage at the moment with his band, having an absolute ripper of a time. Good luck trying to get him off the stage. I think that's going to be a bit of an issue later, Smitho.
Thanks, Gertie. Flood chaos caused by the conflict in the Middle East is being blamed for a lower turnout than expected at the Gallipoli dawn service. Around 1,800 people gathered on the Turkish coast for a service marked by emotion-charged tributes.
The Iran war kept numbers down, but not passion.
I'm not scared. we booked, we're coming, and nothing was going to stop us.
Don't forget, every soldier in the Australian Army always lives in the shadow of Anzac.
Turkish authorities upgraded security, troops in the hills and police boats patrolling off the coast. So many so determined to come on personal pilgrimages. Daryl Ventris honouring his great-grandfather's historic wound.
He got struck by a shell and then carted on Smithson's donkey. Which is an iconic Australian story, and we're very thankful for it.
The crowd heard this special place forged a special bond between Australians and Turks.
That from great suffering, understanding can grow.
Tears for the fallen described as sacred.
They are the messengers of overwhelming grief and unspeakable love.
Australian government officials were surprised by the crowd, 1,791. 2,300 had actually registered. But this helped ease Ashley Warren's pain. She recently lost her partner Tulsa in an army vehicle accident. She came here to feel close to him.
It was a little bit hard, but it was absolutely worth it just to know that he's here with me.
In Gallipoli, Nick McCallum, 7 News.
And 35,000 people attended the dawn service at the Australian War Memorial in Canberra. The Prime Minister led commemorations, placing a wreath at the Stone of Remembrance. RAAF Flying Officer Kabora Ally delivered the commemorative address. In 2001, the Australian Navy rescued her father, an Afghanistan refugee at sea.
I get to carry the hope and now a promise to give back to a place I now call home.
Later, Veterans March with Governor-General Sam Mostyn and War Memorial Chair Kim Beazley watching on. 92,000 fans turned out for the traditional Anzac Day footy blockbuster of the MCG. After a show of unity and respect, the Pies proved far too good for the Bombers.
On the most meaningful day of the home and away season, Collingwood and Essendon fans were in nice and early. Young troops manning the badge stands, while those slightly older wandered in on their own time, proudly displaying their medals and those of family members before them.
They belong to my great-uncle, who was killed at Lone Pine on Gallipoli.
Greg Perry played 63 games for the Bombers in the 70s and fought in the Vietnam War. He thought he was meeting 2 family members at the ground. Instead, 13 showed up to surprise him.
The Anzac spirit of courage, camaraderie, everything just he's embedded in us growing up.
Anzac Day is getting bigger and bigger, and it's good to see the young ones now being taught about Anzac because the world's very topsy-turvy.
On field, both sides were out to mirror the spirit of the Anzacs.
Throw the gladiators out there and whoever has a crack gets the points.
It's truly special to have the calendar.
But before the football battle lines were drawn, a moment of unity. A time-honoured tradition, the Essendon and Collingwood skippers shake hands before leading their teams through a banner covered in the names of footballing Anzacs. The MCG, it's humming now, but in a few moments it will fall eerily quiet. Over 90,000 in the stands, yet not a sound. Before Collingwood fans had the first roar, Lone Steele opening proceedings in his first Anzac Day game.
And he is up to it.
The youth of the Bombers foreshadowed a bright future.
And then around the body.
But ultimately it was the classy veterans of Collingwood that came to the fore.
To other news now, and there are grave fears for a fisherman who waded out into mangroves north of Adelaide and didn't come back. His friends have been at Port Gawler all day, holding their breath and helping emergency services with a large-scale search.
These mangroves stretch for kilometres until they reach the sea. At night time, the tide is much higher, and that's when Ekapau Do waded out with 2 friends and fishing nets. At about 10:30 p.m, the trio was making its way back to the car park at the end of Recreation Drive when Ekapau Do somehow got left behind and his headlamp faded from view.
We wait him to come back. After that, around like 10 or 20 minutes, he didn't show up. Then me and my friend go looking for him.
His disappearance has prompted a large-scale search, helicopters and drones in the air and hovercrafts on the ground. The friends he was with have had a sleepless night and anxious day at the scene and retraced their steps with police, but still no sign of the missing man.
Well, my heart beat really fast because my friend, he went missing, so I'm really worried.
Ekapau Do's friends say he is familiar with this area. He is physically fit and he knows how to swim. They don't understand what could have possibly happened to him.
Really worried about my friend. I hope we find him really soon.
Lauren Rose, 7 News.
Lauren now joins us live from Port Gawler. And Lauren, what's next for the search efforts?
Mike, it's dark here now and we have seen crews start to leave, but the State Emergency Service has asked for a group of 12 volunteers to meet back here early in the morning and be prepared to search all day for the 22-year-old. Police certainly haven't discounted the possibility Ekapau Do could have made it back to safety after his friends, who are facing a second night without answers. They want any members of the public who may have seen him walking or even offered him help or a lift to contact them. Mike.
Thanks for that, Lauren. 5 teenagers have been injured after a car they were in slammed into a tree at Colonel Light Gardens. Police and multiple ambulances raced to the corner of East Parkway and Salisbury Crescent just before 3 this morning. A 17-year-old girl suffered serious injuries. The driver, a 17-year-old boy from Millswood, has been tested for drugs and alcohol. Overseas, there are positive signs in the on-again, off-again peace talks between the United States and Iran. Donald Trump says the regime wants to make a new offer and he's sending his negotiators to Pakistan. But the Iranians are yet to confirm if they'll meet with them.
3 days after pulling out of planned peace talks in Pakistan, a possible change of heart. Iran's foreign minister arriving in Islamabad.
The Iranians want to talk. They want to talk in person.
Donald Trump says they want to make a new offer, dispatching his negotiators. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner will leave tomorrow.
we hope progress will be made, and we hope that positive developments will come from this meeting.
But the minister's spokesman says he's there for talks with Pakistani mediators about ending the American-imposed war of aggression, and no meeting is planned to take place between Iran and the US.
I actually think that having indirect talks might be better. I'm not sure that having these people in the same room is actually a good thing.
In what is perhaps a telling sign that no major breakthroughs are expected, Vice President JD Vance, who led the US delegation the last time the two sides met, isn't travelling to Pakistan. Neither is Iran's top negotiator, Parliamentary Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf.
We have all the time in the world, and we're not anxious for a deal.
Iran has consistently refused to negotiate until the US blockade of its ports ends.
If Iran is now coming to Pakistan and these talks happen, then they've blinked a little bit, and that's rare. That's actually fairly rare.
The US keeping up the pressure.
A blockade as long as it takes. We are in control, nothing in, nothing out.
And it's about to get even more powerful, with a second aircraft carrier set to join in the coming days. In the United States, Rob Scott, 7 News.
An extraordinary record-breaking Australian has passed away after a remarkable life spanning 105 years. Elizabeth Kirby was an actress, politician, broadcaster, producer, and at 93 the nation's oldest ever university graduate. In the 1970s she starred in the adults-only soap Number 96, who could forget that? Then served in the New South Wales Parliament Upper House for 17 years. Elizabeth Kirby was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in 2012. Netball SA has officially moved into its new home at Mile End. Stage 1 of the sports complex is now complete, with the full facility on track for 2028.
The whistles are back, and so is the action. A familiar venue now delivering a whole new game day experience.
It's fun seeing how they look and the new kind of facilities, and I like the shelters and goal rings.
I like to see how they are because I've never been here before.
It's all part of a $90 million upgrade jointly funded between state and federal governments. Stage 1 delivers new courts, a canteen, player shelters and seating.
The facilities are just amazing. The smile on our participants' faces has been big as they've walked through the doors.
Stage 2 already underway, with demolition set to make way for a new stadium, the future home of the Thunderbirds. The popularity of netball continues to boom. Over 35,000 South Aussies will hit the court this year, and it's hoped this new facility will fuel even more growth.
This kind of facility makes it accessible to grassroots to be able to play.
It's not just netball taking centre court. Volleyball SA will also move in, and pickleball is included too.
Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports. It is something that we want to encourage where possible.
The entire complex set to be completed by 2028. Michaela Kamarek, 7 News.
Bruce had 3 champion netball daughters. You've seen 3.5 million games down there, I believe.
About that many, but trust me, standing out in the wind and the rain, loved it. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Oh, you're as tough as nails, you are. Hey, what have you got coming up?
Well, we've already seen Anzac Day at the MCG is one of the great days of the year, as Collingwood and Scott Pendlebury broke records in front of a full house against the Bombers. Well, Port Adelaide gets set for the Cats tonight. It's underway moments ago. The latest from Brisbane and how the Crows can upset the reigning premier tomorrow. All that and plenty more. There's a bit going on at the moment.
Sure is. Thanks for that, Bruce. Well, it's an unlikely family reunion. Long-lost war medals return to South Australian relatives. That story's next. Also, how Anzac crowds reacted to the presence of Ben Roberts-Smith. Israel's president reveals the health battle that he's been fighting while waging war, and later the historic South Coast landmark up for grabs. That's in Selling SA. 7 missing war medals awarded to a South Australian hero have finally been reunited with his family during a moving dawn service. The priceless decorations somehow found their way to a Melbourne op shop for sale, but are now back where they belong.
In the true spirit of Anzac Day, remembering a war hero whose medals were lost.
Honestly, it's amazing.
A year ago, these 7 decorations suddenly surfaced in a Melbourne op shop.
I know from my memories of my grandfather's medal, he served at Gallipoli, and I remember going to school with those medals and how much they meant to me, so I couldn't sell them.
A search for the owner found they were awarded to Warrant Officer Kenneth Peters from Adelaide, where only RSL President Peter Haverhook made it his mission to find the hero's family.
If my mother hadn't passed away, she never would have been listed and we never would have got the medals back to our family. So, you know, from sad things, good things come, and I think Mum's looking down on this today.
This morning, Ken Peters' heroic accounts of his deeds as a tail gunner shooting down enemy aircraft were retold.
I let loose at 400 yards. I think I handled the initial burst, but he kept on coming. I was firing the whole time.
And it's my pleasure to now invite Jason and Liz to present Warrant Officer Peters' medals back to his family.
It's very emotional, and you know, it's much bigger than me or the op shop.
Everyone involved in this year-long search say it's incredible the priceless medals are finally back where they belong.
It's beyond my wildest dreams. Beyond my wildest dreams. It's so moving.
Thank you so much for going out above and beyond to track us down. Because as I said, it was a miracle that they did actually get us all brought together.
Peter Caldecott, 7 News.
Victoria Cross winner and accused war criminal Ben Roberts-Smith attended the dawn service at Currumbin in Queensland. After, there were plenty of well-wishers wanting photos to shake hands or just express their support.
It's a day that everyone should be reflecting and commemorating the service of all of those Australians that have given us the country that we live in. I've never thought about not coming. I was always going to be here.
Mr Roberts-Smith denies the 5 war crime murder charges against him. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has revealed he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. The 76-year-old said the tumour was discovered in its early stages during a routine checkup. The Israeli leader kept the diagnosis quiet for 2 months, so it wasn't revealed at the height of the Iran war. Netanyahu has since undergone radiation treatment. A South Coast landmark more than 160 years old hits the market. That's in Selling SA coming up next. Also united on the Western Front, walking in the footsteps of brave ancestors. Up in flames, the race to save a Bali beach resort, popular with Aussies. And in a nutshell, the century-long story of a SA food pioneer, Kurt Ditter. It's believed to be one of the oldest landmarks in Middleton. Tonight on Selling SA, the rare piece of history is set to change hands for the first time in more than 2 decades.
If you know Middleton, you know the old Fortuna Gallery.
Particularly surfies. You know, I'm going down to Middleton and I'll meet you near Fortuna or near the gallery. It's the house.
Built in 1864, this Georgian-style house has seen many chapters. From a temperance hotel to a doctor's surgery and even a boys' home. If these walls could talk, they'd tell tales of those who left their marks behind.
South Australia Railways were involved with it at one stage. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's a mark on the side of the door out there where the boys had their heights measured.
Elizabeth Tanith has been the proud custodian for almost 24 years.
You have to be simpatico with these old buildings because although they're simple, they demand that you stay simple too.
Some would-be buyers have looked at turning this place back into a business or even an Airbnb, but others, like Liz, simply want to call this historic landmark home.
And so whoever takes it on is the next step in keeping it alive.
It's set to go under the hammer this Friday.
A lot of people that have driven past for years and years have taken the opportunity to come in and have a look and appreciate what's actually here, because you can't really tell from the outside what's on the inside. So it's been very well received.
And it will be here a lot longer than all these new houses. I can tell you that.
Jasmine Turlings, 7 News.
I'm sure it will. Well, the sacrifice of the Anzacs has stirred the souls of both Australians and the French, who paused at the Somme to remember. Australia's incoming Chief of Army, Lieutenant General Susan Coyle, says she'll always remember the moving ceremony.
Walking on what was the Western Front, the site of both Australian military triumph and tragedy, as well as French gratitude to the 46,000 diggers who died defending their homeland.
Their sacrifices are firmly written in our history and forever in our hearts.
Australia's incoming Chief of Army, Lieutenant General Susan Coyle, France's Major General Anne-Cécile Autremont. The first time women have led defence delegations here.
It's just such a privilege, and to do it with Anne-Cécile together, 2 signals officers, very proudly standing here. It's something that we will remember forever.
Lieutenant General Susan Coyle and I and me, we demonstrate that it's possible.
Modern faces of a military partnership more than a century old, forged in these fields. Both nations' descendants, now Aussie rules rivals, tracing their ancestors' steps through the Somme by torchlight before taking one another on in a new tradition. The Anzac Cup, commemoration through competition.
We all feel so blessed, and I think we, as a team, have been reflecting time and time again just over what it feels like.
It was at this moment 108 years ago when the fields of the Somme weren't still, but instead a picture of slaughter, and instead of a proud procession of Australians looking to honour their ancestors, it was nearly 2,500 diggers giving their lives for the freedom of the French. That sacrifice made on the 3rd Anzac Day, liberating Villers-Bretonneux and earning eternal gratitude. In Villers-Bretonneux, France, Ben Downey, 7 News.
Fire has ravaged an Aussie holiday hotspot. Flames tore through the popular tourist resort in Bali. Guests were awoken by fire alarms when the main restaurant at the Club Med in Nusa Dua caught fire. Thankfully, no one was injured. The so-called ISIS brides and their children have begun a new attempt to return to Australia. 4 families, 13 women and children have left a northeastern Syrian camp escorted by Syrian government officials. These families of former Islamic State fighters hope to fly back to Australia after a 10-hour road trip to Damascus. The government spokesperson has told 7 News anyone who has committed crimes will be prosecuted. A wild scuffle has played out in front of Shock Kmart customers in Melbourne. They watched as a customer clashed with a security guard inside the store. It's believed the confrontation began when the man tried to leave without paying for an item. Security guards escorted him out. It's a quintessentially South Aussie range of nuts and fruit, brought here by food pioneer more than a decade ago. In fact, it was a century, 10 decades. It did a story next. Also, you're not imagining it, why shoppers are in for more price pain, and later, what experts think tax changes will mean for first home buyers. With the History Festival fast approaching, and famous Adelaide shopping precinct is set to come to the fore. And so too, a local delicacy with a history stretching back generations.
It's quintessentially South Australian, the range of nuts and glacé fruit that food pioneer Otto Kurt Ditter first brought to Adelaide in 1918.
He began roasting peanuts in Adelaide Central Market. He had his own stall there, and that's how Ditter's grew.
Ditter's has had a long-time presence in the Central Market, but also here in Adelaide Arcade. Ditter's was selling from here until the historic fire in the arcade in the 1980s. The current owners were surprised to find, through sheer coincidence, they'd moved the company back into the original arcade shop.
It was a bit of serendipity. We did know that Ditters had a store here in the Adelaide Arcade until the 1980s. It was only after we'd committed to Shop 22 in the Adelaide Arcade that we learned that it was the exact same site that Ditters used to operate from.
For generations, this was one of the key Adelaide locations to purchase the raw and roasted, flavoured, sugared and chocolate-coloured nuts, plus dried, glacé and crystallised fruit of every kind. Much of it contained in what many families have come to love. If you're a Ditters aficionado, you'll know all about this amazing delicacy. It's known as the Ditters Gourmet Cake, also known as the stained glass window cake. And during History Month, you can get to learn the story of this amazing delicacy, but most importantly, you get to taste it.
It has become an SA tradition, really. For some people, it's actually not Christmas without a Ditters gourmet cake. So started producing the cake in 1967, and it's actually been in continuous production since then.
Its story and that of the Adelaide Arcade will feature in history tours throughout May.
The original building that was on this site burnt down, and one of the owners, which was Mr. Patrick Gay, which is what Gay's Arcade's named after, formed a syndicate with some other prominent business owners in Adelaide and decided to build what would become the biggest shopping arcade in the Southern Hemisphere at the time.
Such a grand shopping arcade must have had a stylish eatery. Well, it did. The hidden tea rooms of yesteryear are also on the tour.
So this is the original tea rooms of Adelaide Arcade. So in the corner, the back corner over here is its own natural spring that is still operational today.
Do you find that people are gobsmacked when they find some of these little secret gems in their own backyard?
Oh, 100%. The tea rooms is definitely the biggest draw card of Adelaide Arcade.
Tours of the arcade and Ditters shop with a free cake tasting will run throughout History Festival in May. Ron Candelars, 7 News.
Former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in Melbourne on a whirlwind tour. His first engagement was speaking about gender equality without pop star girlfriend Katy Perry. Instead, his former Chief of Staff, Katie Telford, was by his side. Together, they created the world's first gender equal cabinet. Well, if it seems like everything is getting more expensive, you're not imagining it. More than a quarter of Aussie businesses have increased their prices just to stay afloat. Consumer Affairs editor Georgia Holland explains.
From a morning coffee at your local cafe to a haircut and new outfit from your favourite store, prices are going up and small businesses say they've had little choice. MYOB's Business Monitor survey has revealed the sector isn't focused on growth but survival. Just under half feel confident about their current financial position. More than a quarter of businesses have already raised prices to absorb cost pressures like energy, rent and wages. Over the next year, 20% expect revenue to increase, 34% expect decline. But young business owners are far more optimistic about what's ahead, while older operators are bracing for tougher times.
In the final edition of our Home Truths series tonight, investors brace for a tax shake-up. Why some claim it will make the market even tougher for first home buyers. Don't miss that story a little later in 7 News. We're sad to report the death of Australia's oldest Olympian, Gordon Ingade, a month after turning 100. 2 weeks ago, Gordon was on Sydney Harbour speaking to 7 News, reflecting on great achievements like competing in the 1972 Munich Games, sailing America's Cup challenges, racing against royalty and in many Sydney Hobarts. Great athlete indeed.
Yep.
Now, how are your blokes going? I hate to ask.
I'll tell you what, we need to show what we showed last week against Hawthorn. We played very well last week, but we'll need to play against Geelong at Adelaide Oval. Coming up after the break, a late withdrawal for the Port. It wasn't great, but we'll update the score against the Cats. Demon Cozzy Pickett flies for the Stars in this Mark of the Year contender. And the world's best jockey comes to town and claims the Oaks. Welcome back. Port Adelaide has copped a blow in their Anzac clash with the Cats, with Todd Marshall a late withdrawal. If you're planning on watching the coverage from 7:30 and don't want to know the current score, look away now. Marshall's absence has left the power short down back, with Lockie Jones matching up on Jeremy Cameron. The Cats kicked the first 2 goals before the power responded to lead by 6 points at quarter time.
And Crows utility Dan Curtin has made a successful return to the SANFL in a big win over North Adelaide. Jack Saligo also sent a message ahead of the showdown with 38 touches and 2 goals in a best-on-ground performance.
Dan Curtin's innocuous knee injury in the pre-season was a major Crow blow. In his return today, he picked up 18 touches and, importantly, got through unscathed.
His ability to play his role and what the team needed was fantastic, and we get him through 4 quarters of footy, which is pretty important.
Curtin's call could come this week, just in time for the showdown, with the 20-year-old coming off a breakout season that saw him finish second in the Rising Star Award.
Whether it's another week or whether it's next week, Nixie and Murray will make that decision, but yeah, it's fantastic for him to get through.
Jake Saligo's name is sure to be mentioned as a showdown inclusion after 38 classy touches and 2 goals.
Jake's had an interrupted pre-season and start to the season, so for him to come in and play the way he did today was fantastic, and he'll no doubt build from here.
The AFL side jetted out to Brisbane this morning with skipper Jordan Dawson set to lead the side after returning due to the passing of his brother. Toby Murray is the other inclusion, with Alex Neil-Bullen missing with a knee issue. Andrew Hayes, 7 News.
And with his ways to win for the Crows against the Lions tomorrow, here's Coach Campo.
And the crowd rises one.
It was an emotional win for Adelaide against St Kilda, finally getting home in a close game for the first time this year. While the Crows have won their last 2, they're still yet to get the job done against a premiership contender, and they head to the Gabba where they've lost their last 4 games. Both sides rely on a kick-mark style to get the game on their terms. At the moment, the back-to-back premiers are executing this more consistently. Brisbane is currently ranked number 1 for uncontested marks, averaging 105 a game. Adelaide just has to reduce this to around 80 to have any chance of winning. Another area of concern for the Crows, the Lions' midfield dominance. They're ranked number 1 in clearance and 3rd in contested possession. Adelaide's inconsistent output in those 2 areas has been the reason they've been exposed at times this season. The upside for the Crows is Brisbane's lack of pressure, where they're currently in the bottom 2 and last for tackles. I'd like to see them be brave and expose the Lions' weaknesses with their speed of ball movement. The Crows have scored 100 plus points in each of the last 2 weeks against lesser sides. If they do it again, they should win. If they don't do this, Adelaide will play straight into the hands of Harris, Andrews and co in the Brisbane backline. Both teams head into round 7 with identical records, but the Crows have more to prove against a fired-up Lions side that had its pride hurt against Melbourne.
Around the grounds, Scott Pendlebury has led Collingwood to its biggest ever Anzac Day win. The Magpies piled on 15 goals after half-time to run away 77-point winners, giving the Bombers a big reality check.
Look out when it's in the hands of Pendlebury. This way, that way, and he has got it.
I think it was one of those days, even when you don't want the ball, it still somehow finds its way to get towards you.
The Hawks have joined the Swans on top of the ladder, thrashing the Suns in Launceston by 49 points for their 6th straight win. Jack Gunston kicked 5.
And that works its way back beautifully. There is 100 on offer.
And Melbourne's Cozzy Pickett starred in last night's 54-point win over Richmond, booting 4 goals and pulling off this mark of the year contender. Luckless Jai Culley's out for the season after rupturing his ACL again. In the SANFL, the Crows proved too good for North Adelaide at prospect, 13 points to the gap, while at Unley, Glenelg maintained an unbeaten start to the season, beating Sturt by 17 points. Last night at the Parade, Norwood beat Port by 7 points. Wool finished with 40 touches, and the Eagles smashed the Bloods at home by 41 points. Adelaide United coach Ayrton Andrioli says his side is prepared well this week to face a tough Melbourne City tomorrow in what will be their final game of the regular season. A win will secure the Reds a home final.
The boys are building, full of confidence. We also been playing consistently well, and we believe that if we go there and play the football that we can play, we can get the result.
The game kicks off at 5 p.m. Carlos Alcaraz won't get to chase a French Open three-peat next month. The Spanish superstar is withdrawn with a wrist injury. In Madrid overnight, Alex de Minaur's miserable form on clay continued.
Impressive, what up.
The Aussie world number 8 lost his second-round match against Spanish teen Rafael Jordá in straight sets, while world number 1 Yannick Sinner dropped the first set to France's Benjamin Bonzi, but recovered to win in 3. Virat Kohli turned back the clock in the IPL overnight, dropped on 0. King Kohli made the Gujarat Titans pay the price, hammering 81 off 44 balls for Bengaluru.
Their first one of Jason Holder into the stands. That is serious
cricket shot.
Kohli's Royal Challengers cruise to a 5-wicket win. And in the Group 1 Australasian Oaks at Morphettville, the Chris Waller-trained Panova, ridden by star hoop James McDonald, came home to win.
Panova for James McDonald and Waller. Panova's going to do it. Panova from Mating Call.
South Aussie trained filly Mating Call, ridden by Jamie Mellon, came in second place. That's our sport. A bit of sport on Port and Geelong, currently at Adelaide Oval. Next door, the T-Birds and the Lightning. T-Birds got to get back on the winning list, and we'll have all the highlights and all the coverage tomorrow night. 7 News, Smitho.
Great stuff, Bruce. Thank you. Well, property investors are bracing for a shake-up in tax rules as part of next month's federal budget. In our final edition of Home Truths, a prominent property agent says the rumoured policies risk creating an economy of haves and have-nots.
He's a former farm boy who ditched high school and took to buying and renovating rundown homes.
Mate, I loved it. I just got bitten by it and I started doing 2-3 deals a year like that in my early 20s.
Now Sam Gordon says he owns more than 150 properties and a fast-growing buyers agency. What does he want to see in May's federal budget regards housing? Nothing, literally.
Don't touch policy. Every time you touch policy, you stimulate the market. Every single time.
17 days to the budget, speculation has exploded around changes for property investors.
Would you support that, Barnaby? A cut to the discount?
I would not support a change in the capital gains tax at all.
One option, the 50% capital gains tax discount for investors could be dumped in favour of an inflation-based model. Also, possible changes to negative gearing. Speaking to 7 News podcast The Issue, Sam Gordon says don't go there.
I would bet you $1 million if they scrap negative gearing, we'll see one of the biggest rental price booms Australia's ever seen.
Prime Minister Albanese won't go into detail on budget plans, but does talk about
intergenerational equity
and not harming the hopes of those trying to buy their first home.
Now, I want to make sure that that is attainable for this and future generations of Australians.
But Sam Gordon argues the government's prized 5% home deposit scheme has already done that.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
By driving up property prices.
I genuinely believe if things continue the way they are, we will move into a two-class economy of haves and have-nots.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
And for the full interview with Sam Gordon, go to 7news.com.au/the issue or download Listener or wherever you get your podcast. Stay with us. Gertie's back with the weather right after the break.
We've got showers developing in the city tonight, but it will be a mostly sunny afternoon tomorrow. I'll have your 7-day forecast live from the Anzac Day Street Party.
Time for the weather now. Gertie joins us again from Weymouth Street, where the Anzac Day Street Party's getting rowdy. Have they got the stick and the hook to get Cornsey off the stage yet?
They did for a little bit, Smitho, but I think he's back for his second set and loving every bit of it. Now, the commemorations here started at around 10 a.m. this morning, so it has been a very long day for many. Weather-wise, after mostly sunny conditions this morning, it did become quite cloudy this afternoon as a cold front approach, and we are expecting some showers to develop in the city from about 9:30 tonight. A thunderstorm's possible south of Brighton too. Overnight it dropped down to 18 degrees. Today's top was 28.6 and right now it's sitting on 21. We are starting to see those showers approach from the far west. Nullarbor picking up about 5 millimetres of rain. Dry and sunny for most throughout the day though. It reached 29 in Kadina and Mount Gambier. Now as that cold front moves in, showers will develop about southern coastal districts, reaching as east of Adelaide by late evening, and some isolated thunderstorms about the coastal fringe. Interstate showers for Brisbane, partly cloudy and 25 for Sydney and Melbourne, mostly sunny and 27 for Perth. Back home, dry and partly cloudy across the far north. 26 for Coober Pedy, 27 for Roxby, 25 for Woomera. Showers further south, the rain should clear by late morning. 23 for Whyalla, 24 for Port Pirie, 25 for Renmark, 21 for Victor, Kingscote and Edithburgh, 23 for Narracourt. And there's still some minor flooding about northern inland rivers. Inner city down to 15, 22's the top. It should be mostly sunny in the afternoon. On Metro Waters, southwesterly winds to 15 knots. Looking ahead, mostly sunny and 24 on Monday, 25 Tuesday, reaching 28 Wednesday, 29 Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and there is a shower or two developing over the weekend. So another very warm autumn week. Now let's take a look at the pet of the week. Meet Tess. She's 11 years old with so much love and life still left to give. A gentle sweetheart, Tess loves cuddles more than anything. She would thrive in a quiet home suited to a distinguished and slightly dramatic older lady like herself. Tess has lived a big life already and she's spent 89 days with the RSPCA. Now she's ready to find her final home. Now, Smitho, I'm going to wrap up shortly, but just giving you a quick view of Cornsey up there on the stage, living his best life.
Thanks, Gertie. We'll leave you with Cornsey and Kaysan, which is playing down there for about the 10th time, I imagine. That's all the news for now. I'll have updates throughout the evening. See you again tomorrow night at 6, of course. But from all the team, good night.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now.